3, 3, and 10, as Orlando does.
Yep.
Really just that consistency of, putting it out there, living it out loud, living our lives out loud, and leading with our health, I think, are some of the big things that we have noticed in the last year. But just this last month, we had so many people reaching out, wanting help with their health. And I would say probably most of them were people saying, we've watched you on Facebook for like the last year, and we've just been stalking you. And we know that, we watch your before and afters, we watch what you guys have done with your health. And it's just been, it's been amazing. Just the people that reach out that you don't even realize you're friends with that have been watching and stalking you.
Yeah.
So do you want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, leading with your health has probably been the best part. Most of you guys know I'm a peacock, and I just got to just show off all the time I can. I constantly brag on myself, but I can back it up with my pictures. So it's just something really cool when you can share your own pictures and say, hey, look, check it out. You want to be sexy? Give me a shout. That's all you got to do. So when you lead with your health, you can't go wrong. It helps that I'm a beautiful man too, so that kind of
Oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. And I remember you guys getting started in coaching last year. I remember Carla making sure I said Kyla correctly on the call, and you were just getting started, and that was the first month of going ED. So congrats, you guys. And so also, Orlando, I'm glad you get the disclaimers on your pictures, right? But I'm also glad you put the disclaimers out, like, hey, you're not going to be able to look as good as me, probably. Like, that's not, I can't promise that. So anyways, well, guys, congrats. I love that you guys are out there doing this from anywhere with your kids, family. That's what it's all about. So congrats. All right. Actually, you know what? We were going to share a few more, but it's 7:01. So let's jump into today. My name is Brad Miller. If you haven't met me yet, welcome, Presidential Director. And I've got my co-host with me. Denise, are you there today?
I'm here, Brad. Got my coffee and I'm ready.
All righty. Well, set us up for today. We're kicking off week number 4, probably the coolest topic of all of them, especially because this one leads into the consistency part of this. So set us up for today.
You guys, this is going to be awesome today. Grab your coffee, get your pen and your paper. This is going to be fun. Welcome, welcome, welcome. These trainings are what really changed what I was able to do in my own health by helping other people. Open up that chat. Just click the chat button at the bottom and pop in there where you're from and what the weather is like today. If it's snowy or sunny. I know some of you are in Florida. Brad's heading to Hawaii, getting out of Snowmageddon. And this program really, really changed my life. I was in an electric wheelchair. I was on 22 medications. I was not living life. Had a new grandbaby, and my daughter, Danae, who you're going to hear from in just a little bit, which I'm excited about, said, Mom, you need to do something about your health. And I thought that was gastric bypass. As a medical professional, I'm a nurse practitioner. I just thought, go and have surgery and it just corrects everything. But I knew that wasn't the way. So I lost 100 pounds with this program, but not only did it change the trajectory of my health, but the healthy mind, the healthy finances. And so you're going to be hearing how to do that really solid with client support, which really, really, and the art of helping other people is really where this is at. I love how the leaders always tell us, when you help other people succeed, then we succeed. And that's what's really great. So we're going to really teach you how to keep it simple. Okay. If you ever feel like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? Lean into your mentor, ask, because there are simple things that we can help you do. Grab your phones, let your support team know you're here. I'm here, I'm all in. And that's a lot of fun, because that's what leaning into your support team means, is let them know, ask them questions, let them know you're here right now. This has been a phenomenal month. You're going to be hearing from my sister coach, Lori Dufresne, in a little bit. 6 years ago this month, Lori and I became executive directors for the first time. And so it's a short month, but a lot happens, you guys. So it's Accelerate Go ED Bootcamp. Put your seatbelts on, guys. Grab your pen and paper. And this is going to be really, really great. we're going to have a couple people start off with sharing some tips for success. These guys are doing the do, being consistent, leading with their health, like Kyla and Orlando shared. I love that he's that peacock out there. That is awesome. I'm going to think of that every time I see you now. But first off, we're going to have Sarah. Sarah, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome. What are you going to share for us?
Cool. Well, thanks for letting me hop on, guys. I'm excited to share with you this morning. So I just want to talk a little bit about my story and where I was last year and kind of some tips that have really helped me move forward. So with that being said, I have been coaching for about 3 years. I did go through some seasons of life where I got married and had a kid and had a newborn and all that good stuff. So coaching for me kind of went on the back burner for a little bit. About a year ago at this time, I barely made senior coach, and I had already seen more at that point and wanted more. So I came to a crossroads where I was like, all right, I either need to completely dive into these systems and just see if they work. Everybody keeps talking about these systems. I just need to see if they actually work, or I need to take a step back. So for me, I completely dove into the systems, and it turns out they actually work. And just to back up a little bit on the systems, you guys probably hear a lot of us talk about the systems constantly. And I just want to say, we don't talk about the systems because we are, telling you to do them. It's because we want to show you how to do them, and because they've worked for us time and time again. So that's what I did. I got really clear on what the systems were and what those looked like. I was super consistent with my 3x3x3 and just the systems in general. A couple months later, I hit executive director, and then a few short months after that, I hit Big Thinkers Club. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it is 10,000 frontline volume. So the systems do work. And then I also just wanted to say, support your clients as best as you can, but constantly be looking for more people. I start my months just as strong, if not stronger, than the end of my month. I was already able to start 3 clients and a returning client since the beginning of February. And just constantly be, in conversation with people and building relationships with people. That's what it takes. And then also, I just wanted to mention the map too. If you're familiar with the map, so huge, you guys. This is literally like the roadmap to your success. Fill out your map, send it to your support team every single month. This is not just something that you check off, on a list. It's literally going to tell you where you're at in your business, where you're going to go, and where you want to go. So those are my biggest tips. Be really bold about your why. Share your story frequently, and constantly, like I said, be in conversation with people. If you do those things, if you follow the system, I always tell my new coaches, just like our programs are like scientifically proven to work, our systems are kind of the same way. So those are my biggest tips.
Sarah, that is awesome. Well, using those systems and just really being solid in that, you did it quickly. I love being a nurse. I love, they're scientifically proven, and they're proven to work. The systems definitely work. So we've got another story and tips from Brian. Brian, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Good morning.
Awesome. Will you share your tips on how you're being successful and being, how's this working for you?
Absolutely. So I started coaching about 13 months. And then kind of plateaued for a while there. And so I really wanted to lean on my support team, kind of figure out what I needed to do next. And really that's kind of number one, is lean on your support team. Let them know what you want. Let them know where you want to go. That's what they're there for. And so a couple of things for me, I would say consistency is the biggest thing. 3-3-3 all the time, no matter what. But especially for me, January was a huge month for me. And I think it was because I was consistent all the way through the holidays. Couple of non-negotiables for me is the map, making sure that my map is filled out the first of every month, sent off to my support team with my goals so they know exactly what I'm going after. And then follow-up Friday. Follow-up Friday is huge. And that's just connecting authentically with people who have reached out, asking them how their day. Everybody's happy on Friday, so it's a great time to reach out, connecting authentically with them. And that's pretty much what I have. But no, it's been fantastic. Just lean into your mentorship. be very clear with where you want to be, and then get into action and do it.
Brian, that is awesome. And if you guys don't know what Lean Into Your Mentorship Team is, ask. When I started working with Brad 6 years ago, I literally would take notes of things I didn't understand. I thought I did, but I didn't quite. I asked. So, Brad, I'm going to throw this party over to you. You ready?
I am. Let's get going here. Sarah, Brian, love the stories. And then Kyla and Orlando too. Just thinking about where you guys were this time last year and then making the decision. It is, like Sarah talked about, proven. So let's get into that because we are off to a record start this month. Congratulations, all of you. The consistency is building. And this is a short month, but this is a connection month. So let's continue the success because what we covered today is going to be the game changer. It's going to be the grease on the wheels. It's going to be the gasoline on the fire. And Danae is going to share with us some incredible stuff here. But before we hop into today, actually, just because the chat's so awesome today and I want to use it a bunch because this topic includes how we support clients. So I want you guys to be prepared to share all of your knowledge here. We are all learning and growing here together. And then to get that party started, who here liked their commission check last week? Anyone blown away? Anyone feeling like their life is getting better and blessed because of the people we're able to help? Like every single month, I'm just like, are you serious that we get paid to do this for everybody and that we get to give this gift away? Blows my mind. And another tip that I have on this, just a success tip, is inspect what you expect on your income. Like know how much you fully made. I'm still always surprised, especially because this boot camp is for new executive directors or people moving to big thinkers. Most people don't actually know what they're fully getting paid. Pretty much like every single month, I'm like, hey, how much did you make? And they're like, oh, I made $2,000. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just your bonus. Do you want to go find out how much you truly made, et cetera, et cetera. So you look under the total income report. And again, I'm a big fan of inspecting this because this is a gift we get to give away to other people. And every cent we make is because of lives changed. There is no cheating the system here, you guys. We do the work and we change lives and strive to have more income in abundance because the only way you're going to get there is changing more lives. So anyways, jumping into today, skill set plus mindset plus action plus consistency equals success. And I love the story shared today because they did do the things that make the momentum happen. They focused on growing 1 to 2 points. They got those little things set up in there. They actually grabbed their phone like Denise was talking about. My support team's right there. Hey, Dad, I'm on the training this morning. Just wanted you to know. Cool. He's right there. He's traveling with me to Hawaii today. But really making that connection with people is the difference maker, and staying connected with your support team. So I'm excited to jump into today. So really, if you haven't yet, really grab that phone. We're not going to put it away like we normally encourage people to. Like literally text your support team and say, hey, I'm here today. I'm ready to rock and roll, because it is 90% of this, you guys, is just showing up. Like that is the funny part about this. It's making the decision to show up. Like Sarah, what you were talking about a second ago blew my mind, because you just decide like, oh, okay, I'm just going to actually do this. It's half of showing up and the things you learn, that one little nugget, that one little thing that makes a difference. But also it's just the fact that you decide to get up here this morning and get ready to go. Like, oh, Lori's in the chat saying I'm ready to go. So anyways, just want to congratulate all of you guys here and the consistency on that. The path for success this month is wherever you're at right now. Want to encourage you to start this month strong. Like Sarah said, that is a game-changing step. And that was actually one of your pieces of success. I remember you locked into that. You heard that on a training. You were like, well, I'm just going to start this month strong. Starting off 1 or 2 clients is going to set a whole tone for me this week. So this week, right now, we're a week into this month and we're off to a record start. Remembering that the focus is if you're on your way to executive director, that's your goal this month, because the momentum is going to carry you. If you like what's happening now and you're consistent, wait till next month. We always have our best months after we have this training. So I'm excited for you. Plus, just things get easier and better. And if you haven't looked back recently to give yourself a pat on the back to be like, oh my gosh, like 6 weeks ago, I was not this good of a coach. Things were not this easy. I was not doing follow-up Friday, like Brian said. Make sure you're giving yourself that props here today. So anyways, that's step number 1 if you're not there yet. If you are already executive director, like I believe the 19 new executive directors we had last month, your next step is the Big Thinkers Club, like Sarah was talking about there. And again, if you're already above that, like many of you are here, your goal is to get really good at this stuff so you can give it away to other people. And again, we were talking about practicing success here, because everyone, guys, like we're all learning and growing here. Success is squiggly line, but if you follow the steps here, they're less squiggly. So let's jump into today. But one thing we're going to talk about a lot this month and probably every single week is I'm going to encourage you guys to check your map, check your map, check your map. It is the gold. It is the guide. It is the, like, your people you're helping. It's the names. It's the people. It's the heartbeat of your business. So like your map should be messy, rattered, tattered this entire month. So today, if you get a second at the end of it today, at the end of this call, we're going to have some time for Q&A, and we're going to have some time for workup time. Take a look at your map. How are you doing? Inspect what you expect. That's probably the biggest key to success on top of being consistent each day, is focus on the real people, what you're doing each day that makes a difference. So like I grabbed this last month or last week for Danae. This is Danae's map of last year, which we're going to hear from in a second here. This is really what a map looks like that's getting work done, that's being used every day, that's being lived with intention. And this is really what it looks like as you start off the month and having the names on the list. So anyways, here, let's jump into today. So we are in second week of talking about supporting clients. Susan LaBelle knocked it out of the park last week because we only do 4 main things as coaches. We awaken clients, we support clients, we awaken coaches, and we support coaches. That's what we do here. And one builds on the other. And what you'll see today is a big part of today will lead into next week's topic, which is going to be awakening and starting coaches. We're going to cover that in depth next week, but it all starts here, and it started where Susan dropped all the knowledge bombs last week. So we're going to take it from, they said yes, they're getting started. Integration happens way before their meals show up, because only one component of theirs is coming in the mail. And what's cool about this is I like that we did that poll a couple weeks ago. It's like, where do most of your clients come from? Well, it comes from either referrals of well taken care of clients, comes from people from reaching out consistently, like Kyla was talking about here in Orlando before, but it comes from a bunch of different places, but those are the primary ones. So it's not a surprise where these clients come from. So let's talk about, which I don't need this slide. I'm going to stop share so I can turn it over to Danae. And I chose Danae on this topic because, one, she started off the year with the organization class, and she did a really great job. And this is the part that shows up when you got the organization really down. Her and DJ run an extremely high frontline volume. You sponsor at a great rate. Your clients are thriving. Like, I just kind of gauged it by your support thread. You're always putting in messages of your clients that are doing really well. You also ask for a lot of integration calls, which we'll get to later. But I can just tell you do this really well. You have great numbers. You're consistent. And you actually, props to you guys, you have the largest growth percentage out of any integrated national of business. So teach us your secrets today. This is going to be a little bit more of a conversation because we're all fine tuning this. Just like Susan dropped the one knowledge bomb with me last week, was like, hey, ask your client as on the health assessment, what's their one thing, like their biggest thing that might hold them back or their biggest obstacle. I was like, you're always learning like this, like all professionals. We're all still just getting better each week. So we're going to have a conversation today, but share with us, how do you keep this simple? Because it doesn't take a lot of time to support clients well. It just takes doing the right things at the right time. So guide us through this today. And I'm going to also give one more invitation to the chat. As we go through here, if you have things you do at these different times, or you've learned, or you want to reinforce what Danae is talking about, put it in the chat. We're going to learn a bunch of stuff today, and we're going to give a lot of energy to the main 4 weeks that make all the difference in the catapulting of a journey of a client. So Danae, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I am super excited to share with you today. And this is a huge passion of both DJ and myself, is just really caring well for people. And this was the difference maker in our business. Just a year ago, I will never forget when I was sitting on the boot camp and the consistency training and had my coffee in hand and anxiously thinking, oh my gosh, could it be possible? And this was the game changer. Allison spoke, Ashley spoke, and they just shared their heart. And I don't know if you're like me, but I thought, man, I'm trying to keep my head above water. I'm trying to take really good care of these clients. And I hear all of these things. And like Sarah just said, the science of our program is proven, and the science of this system is proven. And so I thought, well, why not? Why not just try it? And so that's what I stepped into, and this was the game changer. I decided, you'll hear us say this a lot, consistency, and you'll hear us say, I decided. I made a decision. Okay, I'm going to support my clients really, really well. That is the cornerstone of who we are. As Brad just shared, that is the beginning of what this looks like as a health coach. And so, okay, I'm going to support my clients. Let's see what I can do to love on them in such a deep, deep, intentional way. And this is what built our business. This is what made those little teeny dots that you saw of Brad's in that other slide just overflow over the last 12 months to where we cannot believe the amazing abundance that has happened in our lives. When we started out and we had that first conversation with Brad, I had no idea that that really could happen. We're all a little skeptical, right? Blink at me if you're like, I don't know about this. So take a look. Brad's like, yes, totally get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how simple this is and how from the very basic building blocks of supporting clients and having a true heart for them, this is what it looks like. So taking it back to that week one, it really is the schedule. It is looking at what Lori shared with us and putting into place, once we've decided, yes, I made the decision, I'm going to support my clients well. Well, how do we find that balance that we're all seeking in our lives? But to really look at, if I set aside the time, if I decide I'm going to be intentional in my coaching, then for me that meant I am a wife, my husband's a pastor, so we're busy and involved in our church. We have 3 little kids, one of whom last year had multiple surgeries. We have lots of medical things and just life happening for 3 kids that are involved in all sorts of activities. So I'm a busy full-time mom and a full-time wife, but I'm also get to be super present in my health coaching. So dialing in my schedule and saying, man, I am going to put my clients of a level of importance. So my schedule is either going to tell me what I'm going to do or I'm going to lose it. And so this means so much to me. So check out that schedule that Lori talked about a couple weeks ago. She dialed it in so well. But first and foremost in your day, sending out those daily messages, caring for your clients, setting aside that time so that it's reciprocal. Getting up in the morning, having those messages sent, that way you can just continue conversations with your clients throughout the day. It shows them that you thought of them first. They're not an afterthought. They are a priority to you. You woke up with them on your mind and on your heart. So I recommend checking out that. And then, oh my goodness, Susan LaBelle, seriously, drop boom in the chat if she blew your mind last week. I seriously have a girl crush on her. She's fantastic. Every time she speaks, I'm leaning in, anxiously wanting to learn something from her. And so she dialed it in. The heartbeat of what we do and our coaching begins at that health assessment. It begins by flipping everything on head. Because when we show up present in a health assessment and say, man, you matter. What is it that you want? I literally on a health assessment had a fellow mama say, I never even thought about that. What would it look like for me? What picture do I see in my mind when I see a healthy family? Oh my goodness. And she started bawling. How many of you have had someone completely start crying with you on a health assessment? I cry all the time. Because this is what we do. We talk about their heart and we talk about where their emotions and their mind is. Man, the fuelings and the feeding ourselves, that's so secondary to what's going on in here. And we flip all of it on its head because we're coaches to the heart. We're life transformation. And that is so countercultural to what they expect. They expect something completely different. And we get to show them that we genuinely care. And we begin coaching from the moment of that health assessment, whether they say not yet or whether they say an excited yes. So really go back to what Susan shared with you last week on that amazing, amazing training about being the heart of the health assessment and leaving them better than when we started. This is a game changer for your business. Dialing in a health assessment because we truly care, not looking to get a client, which is one of my least favorite phrases in this world, but to really share and to partner with someone to look at big life change, even the semantics that we use, the conversations, the words that overflow from our heart show where our heart and the position of our heart is at. So loving on other people is huge, and that's who we are. And then this is my favorite. While they're waiting, our coaching begins the moment we're on that health assessment. This is it. It's not when some weird box shows up or amazing box shows up at their front door. It really is while they're waiting. We begin coaching from the moment we care well from them with those extra 15 minutes like Susan shared with us, to add them to that support thread, to add them to our private Facebook pages, to love on them and send them that first message from the day the client says yes, where it's plug and play. It is simple when you have your schedule dialed in. And how many of you really would love to just say yes? If all of a sudden the floodgates open today, like Brett talked about, riding that amazing wave, if the floodgates opened wide today and you had 10 new clients come and say, I want health, type a 10 in the chat if you're like, I want to know how to be able to help all 10 of them when they all start on a different day. That's what this is. It's more of the same. And that was the biggest game changer in our business, was I see you blowing up that chat. It's grabbing hands and saying, okay, I'm going to dial it in with the amazing 5 or 10 or 15 clients that I'm currently supporting, because when that floodgates open, I am going to be ready. I'm going to be ready to be an intentional coach that is going to love on people for those integral first 30 days. That was the game changer for me, guys. It's so simple. As a busy, busy mama, I sat here thinking, man, I love these first 5. They're fantastic. But I want to help more. When people say yes, I want to be ready. And so it's from the beginning, having that margin in your life where you say, yes, I can fit more. I can fit more messages. I can fit more comments. I can fit more right here in this space of time, because I want to care for so many. And it's being ready and able, because it is so simple. It is plug and play. We don't need to recreate the wheel. Our amazing leaders and mentors have gone before us in this. It is incredible. So I want to invite, as we talk about expectations and just setting up our clients for success within those first 30 days, it really is setting up healthy expectations. And my dear friend and fellow coach, Siler, she is killing it. She is sponsoring at an incredibly high rate. She is running a massive frontline volume and is just growing exponentially with also sponsoring coaches, because she's caring so well and setting such phenomenal expectations for her clients within these first 30 days. So Siler, will you come off mute and will you share a little bit about what it looks like to set healthy, clear expectations for our clients?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Janae, for reaching out to me and asking me to do this. So she put this question out to me about those first 30 days. What is that biggest takeaway for me in supporting my clients and getting my clients set off on the right foot? And I think for me, the biggest takeaway is those who I set up that expectation up front about engaging in those tools are going to be there, but those who are engaging with them, those who know what to expect from them, are the ones who I'm seeing that success with, where they get that complete buy-in of all the components of this. Like you were saying earlier, it's not just the food, it's not the fueling. It is truly about examining our relationship with food and about how we are learning from those slip-ups, even in those early days. So what I do is, from the time that I'm putting in their order, I'm setting those clear expectations. I am sending those daily text messages. And yeah, they're not written by me. And I'm not going to go in and tailor them to make them sound like they're from me. But they have good information. So dig through them, pull what they need to know out of those. And then also just clarifying my role, because a lot of these people that are signing up with me to get to their health goals are my friends. And they trust me as a friend, but then I also have to clarify my role as a health coach, that I'm going to have to talk to them about these more difficult topics. So it goes in, I'm a social worker by training, and I work full-time as a school social worker. So it's like dual relationship that I learned about a long time ago, of really setting up those examples of how coaching them may be pushing them a little bit farther than what they're used to with a friendship. So knowing you're going to have to say those kind of harder things to them just to help them to get to those goals, because they've got those whys and they know that they can get there. So for me, it's just been amazing to see how I push myself beyond that little bit of comfort zone to really help them to awaken their whys and realize that they can do this, that their success grows infinitely. So I do those daily texts every morning. I do the kickoff Zoom call to make sure that they have everything that they need up front, that they have all their questions answered. I make those phone calls after work, those first 4 days. I do their week 1 celebration, see how far they got, and see how I can help them move on from there. And then really that month 1 celebration of like, wow, look at how far you've come already, and look at where we're going from here. So.
Boom. I love it. And that is one other component I love that Siler mentioned. She's doing this, and she is a hardworking mama who works a full-time job. So it's not like Siler sitting at home, has all day to send these messages. She has her schedule dialed in. Did you hear? She's doing more of the same and supporting a big, wide variety of people and coaches now. And she's doing it with just grace and beauty as well, because she's juggling a lot. So it's not more and making it more cumbersome to support more coaches and more clients. It's keeping it very, very simple. So Siler, thank you so much for sharing that. I know that this is your heart and your passion, and it's something that you are just showing so well in the way that you just live out your life, both as a health coach and as a client and in your own health journey. So thank you so much for sharing with us. And that really is, it's more of the same. It's copy and pasting. It does not take a lot of work. And by doing that and setting that great expectation, we get great engagement. So yes, it doesn't happen all the time. Have you ever had someone completely ignore those first 4-day messages where it's like crickets? You're like, where are you? Are you alive? Did you get scared? Did you run away? But then you have those others that just want to engage more, and they do the health evaluation, and it is an eye-opening opportunity to have a conversation, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. At this point, when I get to copy and paste those messages, I get to sit back and enjoy the conversation. I get to have fun with it. I get to press in more like Siler was. We're going to take them to a different level. In that health assessment, like Susan shared with us, we get to unearth some things that they weren't ready for, and then we get to care well for them and to show them that we're going to continue to have that conversation. We're not going to unearth something and then let it sit there. We're going to help them walk through it because we have those tools, because we've gone before them. Drop it in the chat if you've had something completely unearthed in yourself that you never had any idea that beginning a health journey would bring to fruition. It is so much more than just what we eat. And that is the biggest surprise about what we get to do as coaches, is it's not just about the food. I know you're going to hear me say that all the live long day, but that's really what it's about. And so that's what we get to do. Hey, tell me more about that. What did that show you? What areas do you want to engage in next? And they're blown away. I have a client I was talking to last night, day 2. And it's been so fun to see, like she said, I had no idea that I hated my job so much. And so also in the back of my mind, because I have those coaching glasses on, which is something we're going to talk about next week, I'm always listening. I'm actively listening for the heart behind the words that they say. There's so much more going on. And so I wrote down on her health assessment, potential coaching. She needs to be able to work from home because she's a caregiver for her husband who needs full care. And so my heart is to love her and see, because we know that those matches are there. So just tuck those little nuggets away. When you hear those things, that's what that health assessment is for. So on that night before call, on that sheet, we're going to show up. We're going to love them. We're going to send them those messages. We're going to copy that whole thing, make sure they watch that phenomenal video, and then we're going to reinforce it. We're not going to recreate the wheel. That video does all the teaching. We get to show up, and like I love what Susan said last week, we don't need to answer the questions that they haven't asked. We get to say, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. We never know if they're excited or if they're nervous or if they're just anxious or what else this is unearthed. We get to show up and be present and say, oh my gosh, this is going to be so exciting for you. So we get to show up, we get to show them, we get to reinforce, we get to drip their why in there, constantly refocusing them. It's like a kid. We get to refocus them back to that beginning. How many of you need a little bit of refocusing sometimes, and your business mentors are like, hey, right back this way, right back this way. Let's see all those hands. Yeah. We kind of all start going sideways, kind of like a cat. Siler and I have had that conversation, kind of like, oh, up here. Sometimes it's like herding cats when we're dealing with clients, right? But we love them, and so we're like, come on back here. We love you enough to say, come on over this way. So we just get to refocus and re-aim them to their goal, because that is so much more important than that number on the scale that so often distracts us, because that bigger life is what we're coaching towards. So be present on that night before. Take notes on that journey kickoff line right there. That's what that is there for on your health assessment. is to write down the heart behind the words that you're hearing. Wow, really sounds like she's nervous about going on that vacation this year. Or man, sounds like he's concerned that his job's really stressful in this tax season because he's an accountant. And so he typically will have lots of sweets and treats in his office. He's a little nervous. So having that awareness as a coach to hear the heart behind the words that they're saying is caring well for them and seeing that bigger vision for their life when they're so focused like this. So then we're going to get into that first week. They dive into their first day, and it's very simple. Going back to that scheduling, we are going to schedule it, and then we're going to show up for it. Allison says, show up for yourself, which I love. If you're going to make that time, respect yourself. Show up in the morning. Be there when you put that on your schedule. My husband and I had to figure this out. He works a full-time job, and so do I, with working for the kids and taking care of the family and being here as a health coach. And so really having open communication with my spouse of what it looks like so I'm not constantly running 12 different directions, and then honestly feeling anxious as a health coach that, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to send all those messages today. When I get up and I do it first thing in the morning, I could be more present for my family. I am not stressed as a mama about being there and being fully present versus thinking, oh gosh, I need to go do all these things. So schedule it. Send those daily messages. Copy and paste it. Send a cute little greeting at the beginning of it. Hey man, so excited for you to start today. You're going to kill it. Here's your day one message. Call it out. You didn't write them. No big deal. But don't go through it trying to modify it or trying to take things out. We send the message in its entirety because it's in their best interest. Do you trust your mentors who have gone before you? That's ultimately what this comes down to. And why not try it? That's where I was last year. I don't know about you, but if you're like, man, well, I'm worried because this isn't my wording and I need to do it. Why? Let others go before you. Let them lead you. Copy and paste it, and then call them on days 1 through 4, and we support them well into a healthy fat burn. And then we're going to lean into our mentorship team. And that leaning in literally means, like, if you're sitting at a table, imagine sitting at your table with your amazing business mentors, other people that you love and admire. Like if I was sitting at a table right now, I'd be there with Brad and Denise and Susan LaBelle and Lori Dufresne, and I would be like this. I'd be so far over the center of that table, elbows on the table, leaning in so I can move my ears closer to catch every word. That's what leaning in is. It means putting your heart closer. It means putting your ears closer, being more eye-opened and keenly aware to hear and to glean everything. It's a positioning of your heart to be open for more. That's what the leaning in is. So are you leaning in? Are you learning? Are you ready to support? And when you lean in with your clients and you engage them, this is what happens in this first week. Well, Ashley Miller did a phenomenal job. She went live. This is what it looks like. So you can go search within Health Coach Support Group if you're just trying to figure out how to schedule those daily messages and how to kind of dial in that schedule component. She killed it. Go look that up. That's everything I've learned is from her. She's phenomenal. Well, and Brett and Denise, they're amazing. But Ashley, loved her training. Then looking forward at week 1, it's very simple. You're going to send that daily message in the morning. That way it's the same. It's more of the same. Brad tells me that. Danae, are you ready for more of the same? Heck yes, I'm ready for more of the same. Bring on 10 clients today. So looking at that, and then the phone calls in the evening are very quick. You want to respect their time. You want to respect your time as well so that you can care for more. Even if you're supporting 5 clients right now, imagine supporting 15 more. How are you going to set yourself for success and make it very simple now? That way, as those floodgates open, you are ready and able to say, yeah, I want to support you. Let's do this together. We can do this. So what did you learn? What are you feeling today? Do you have any questions? Are you ready for tomorrow? See, these questions, they're open-ended. These are the cornerstone of those first day 1 through 4 calls. Very, very simple, very, very attainable. It's all the same questions. And you put on that coaching hat. I'm not calling as a friend, like Siler said. I'm not calling as a sister. I'm calling as your health coach. Hey, it's Danae calling to see how your day went on program today. So then looking forward, you can expand on those 4 questions. But again, like Susan said, I don't answer the questions that they haven't asked. That's not in their best interest. Their journey is not the same as Joe's, who I helped last week. So here's what we're going to do. If I need to expand, I'm going to keep it positive. I'm going to breathe light over them. And then I'm going to keep reinforcing that they're doing fantastic. They've got enough doubt in their own mind. I get to come in and say, wow, that's a phenomenal question. And I don't know about you, but I got really nervous in the beginning as a senior coach and a new executive director. I got so worried. What if I don't know the answer? That's okay. Guess what? I got an answer this last week about why we use cold water and if it deactivates the probiotic. I'll openly admit, I didn't know the answer. Guess what? I said, that's a phenomenal question. I'm going to reach out to my mentorship team and I'm going to reach out to Optavia directly and I'm going to find out from them. That's fantastic. Thanks for asking that question. I love to learn more things. Did that hurt me or devalue me as a coach? No. It showed them that I will find the answer and I will get back to them. So don't be afraid of the questions they're going to ask. I was so afraid in the beginning. And I'm not going to live in fear. How many of you are ready to not live in fear? Go ask those questions. Be direct. Care for them well, because that's all they want. They just want to know someone's there and they're going to walk alongside them. So those are those daily potential questions. Day 4 is a little bit different, right? Because we're looking for fat burn, which is what everybody's super excited for. So we're going to ask about those signs. Do you have an extra pep in your step? Less cravings. Again, we're leading them to show them what it's going to feel like. And they probably have started to experience these feelings and don't really know what it is. And then they get to the aha moment. How many of you have been on a call where you're like, hey, have you been sleeping better? And they're like, yeah, actually, I jumped out of bed this morning and I didn't even hit snooze. Celebrate it. They're in fat burn. And that's the joy of coaching. They have done the hard work and putting it back to them. Man, you killed it. You're in fat burn. Welcome to it. This is the beginning of the rest of your life. And it becomes something that they crave. So if yes, that they have done that, we're going to reset those expectations like Siler talked about. We are going to let them know that they've graduated from our daily messages because they've killed it, but we're always still here. We are a simple text message or a Facebook message or a phone call away, and that they also have that private Facebook group that they can always go and reach out to as well. So encouraging them to be involved in community, because sitting face to face, as you all know by being on this is where it starts. All 212 of you right now being here, sitting face to face, even over social media. This is where it starts. Sending them those continued messages for the next 8 days, or well, it would be 4 days by that point, for the rest of their first week, and then dropping in there that, oh my gosh, we are going to celebrate on your day 7. We'll get that set up around that day 6 message is when you're going to connect with your mentorship team, which Brad and I will talk about. But looking forward at their journey, what is this like? This is what this next week's going to be like, and setting them up for success with, hey, guess what? On this day is when I reach out to all of my clients and I give everybody a call. For me, again, going back to that schedule, I can care well for a lot of people because I have it in my schedule. Mondays and Tuesdays are the rhythm of my life. That's when I reach out to all my clients, and my clients know that. I reset the expectation that I call my clients between Monday and Tuesday. We're going to have a quick phone call. You know, it always is important, if you can, to grab that phone call or give me a call back. Always let them know. Reach back out to me. There's a dual responsibility in this relationship. If they ever need anything, they can reach out to me. It's no big deal. And then we touch base with them a second time as well. If they haven't reached that fat burn, that's where you continue to call them every day so that you coach them into a fat burn. We don't drop their hand just because we sent a day 4 message. If maybe they had a hard time getting started, no problem. We are in this for the long haul. How many of you out there are ready to commit to coach for the long-term game? Type long-term in that chat if you are ready to coach for the long-term game, that you will not give up on them. They're going to get so sick of you because you're going to believe in them longer than they're ready to believe in themselves. Oh yeah, blowing it up. So that's who we are as coaches. And then flow of that call is going to be very simple for those first 4 days, for those check-in days, very short. Respect their time, respect your own time so that you can set yourself up to serve so many. This is a game changer. I used to get so bogged down in, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to them? How is this going to go? Screenshot this, reach out to your mentorship team. This is what we do. We ask 4 very simple questions. How did your week go on program? Oh my goodness, let me save you. Ready? Do not make your phone call and say, hey, girly, how's it going? You've just opened yourself up to hearing about the cat and the dog and how the kids had a hard week. I'm not calling as a friend. I'm calling as their health coach. And that's where you differentiate your expectations as a coach and you set them up for success. I'll totally call her back and talk about the kids. I love hearing about people's lives. But right now, how did your week go on program? Oh my gosh, you're killing it, aren't you? Believing in the positive. The way we position our words is what's overflowing out of our heart. So are we believing in others? Are we positive with the words that are flowing out of our mouth? What are you learning this week? Oh my gosh, be over the top. Fill in that gap for them. Did you come across any questions? What can I answer for you? Don't be afraid of the questions. If you don't know, no problem. You've got a mentorship team there for a reason. Oh, someone's drawn for me. They're really passionate right now, Brad. And are you ready for the next week ahead? Find out what they're going to be navigating. Are they going on vacation? Are they going to a festival? Are they going to be heading out with their family and they don't know how to navigate something? That's what we're here for. Our journeys are ever changing. So keeping it simple. And then the questions can expand, but you are going to touch base with them 2 times a week for those first 30 days. It's integral. It makes a huge difference in their journey when you commit to showing up for them. For me, I have found Mondays and Tuesdays, which for most of us, those are our client check-in days. That's when I call all of my clients, I reach out to them, leave them a positive voice message. Hearing your voice is something completely different than sending a text message. And so even if they say, hey, texting's great, like actually, even if you can't answer, no problem. I'll just leave you a voicemail, no worries. Hearing your voice, hearing that tone, if I were to just send you these slides, instead of talking to you and having a conversation, it'd be a completely different engagement. I had a client who I've left multiple messages for text me back this week because she's been at work. And she said, you know what? I kind of liked that I missed your call because now anytime I need encouragement, I can listen to your voicemail. And so I love it. She'll totally call me back. But she has that voicemail where I'm encouraging her. I'm celebrating a post that I saw where I saw her transformation this week. I could see it when she was standing at Disneyland, and girlfriend, I can see her waist. That's a big deal. And so just encouraging them, being a voice in their life, because we hear those negative voices so much. You be that positive voice in their life. You be the heart that matters. And then I follow up second time right around Thursday or Friday, because most people find that the weekend is their hang up. They have a different view of it, and we get to work on that different vision. That is not that horrible 4-letter word of a diet. That is not what we do. We coach to lifestyle change. So we're going to give them the tools they need to be successful. And so reaching out to them on a Friday and saying, hey, what do you have coming up this week? What can I help you navigate? What are you going to refocus? How are we going to make the choice today on Friday to make great choices today on Saturday when you go to that birthday party? What is it that you want to do? And leaving it open to them shows them, man, that coach, man, Sarah, she's still in my corner. They're still right there. And so being present in their lives is huge in coaching. And Optavia has proven that this is the bread and butter. So if you could take anything away from this morning, maybe this is something you need to dial in. Coaching twice a week for those first 30 days makes a huge difference in their lives. And just setting it up, it's already follow-up Friday. It's already an opportunity for you to sit down and be intentional with your messages and kind of expand on those follow-up with people that are on your heart. Add those clients that are there. They're still in that front folder. So follow up with them one more time. And this is the fruition. This is what it looks like. This makes me so excited as a health coach because I've earned that Speed of Trust. If you haven't read Speed of Trust yet, oh my gosh, there's another book for you to add to your list for 2019. I've earned the trust with these clients for them to open up, for them to send me the number on the scale, for them to send me their pictures that they're scared of and to say, look, I'm here with you. Let's put these side by side. And so being able to do that within those first 30 days for a client to help them press through to that next component, this is the relationship. This is the heart of showing what it looks like to live a bigger journey life with them, and that you will be with them for the long haul. And, calling it out. Let me see your smile. Don't hide your face. You're gorgeous. You've got this. And so doing this alongside your clients, celebrating them within your threads, is a game changer within those first 30 days. The transformation often happens first right here within their face. I love Denise's story of one of her amazing clients who lost her chin within those first few days on program, her second chin. Oh my goodness. That is life change. That is what we get to do, because that's ultimately deep down within us, that thing that we unearthed at the beginning on the health assessment. We get to watch it come to fruition within these text messages and within celebrating with them each week. So loving on clients, being super intentional with them, and sharing their wins with them through these images brings it to light, because we're our own worst enemy. But this is where we get to come in and show that life is different. How many of you have had a client who've been like, man, I see those transformation stories. And of course, we never share anything without our client's permission, but also asking, let me celebrate you. You're amazing. This is something just for you and me, and call it out. Say, I don't share anything that my clients haven't already told me that it's okay to share. Give them that caveat so they aren't afraid that you're just going to go take their image that you've created and, post it out on Facebook. But love on them. Say, I want to celebrate you in the same way that I get to celebrate all these other people, because you matter. So that really edifies them in their journey. And then looking forward, we continue on with those messages throughout the first 30 days. So letting them know how to update their next premiere, letting them know, setting those expectations within that first week of, hey, around week 3 or week 4, you're going to get an email from Optavia on day 7 and on day 4 before your order is set to process. We're going to both be looking out for that. I'll help you with that. We got you covered. I'll send you a message. Again, let the video do the teaching. It sets you up for more time. I felt like, I need to help them. I need to hold their hand. They're adults. That video's phenomenal. They can go watch that video. Totally get it. Yes, there are some people that need a little extra hand holding. Jump on a quick phone call, but you don't need to go fish for them. We're going to teach them how to fish. Again, this is an opportunity for them to engage. And then the referral program. So all of those messages are there. I copy and paste. I don't recreate the wheel. These things are fantastic, and our mentors have gone before us. Again, trust the system. Trust the fact that it's proven. Those of us have done this, and so it just makes it very simple. Why not try it? What's it going to hurt? And then looking forward to helping them update their first premiere is key. This is the last moment that not the last moment, but the last kind of key component within those first 30 days of looking at, hey, here's what it's going to be like. Here's the copy and pasted message from Simple Systems. If you don't have Simple Systems yet, it could be that you're not quite yet a senior coach, which is completely fine. I'm so glad you're leaning in and here today, but reach out to your mentorship team. That's a massive bank of documents that we have for you. So just ask them for that. But we're going to recommend, hey, remember, you're going to get 22 to 23 boxes to set you up for success for this next month on your journey. You get to pick them all. And then having a just keen eye that when you get those 20 bajillion messages, right, about they got in there and they're navigating it, they're trying to figure it out, and then your email blows up with 24 emails that say, oh my gosh, they updated their premiere. Oh my gosh, they updated their premiere. Oh my gosh, they updated their premiere. Wait till it's all done, till the dust settles, grab that last email, and just take a glance at it. And this doesn't mean you need to go over it with a fine-tooth comb. I get it. When you have so many of those coming in and you've started 5 to 8, 10, 12 clients a month, I get it. But when you have that in your brain and you've trained yourself to have an eye for that name, that's that new client, like this one that I was looking at, look it. She needs a couple more boxes. And I noticed that one of her boxes doesn't say essential or select. So it's not an Optavia fueling. So it triggered my brain to say, oh, guess what? That's a maintenance bar. So I get to care well and look out for her. I'm not the fueling police. Hold up your hand and say, I am not the fueling police. Nice. That's not who we're here for. That's not the heart. Our heart is to care well because I want her to succeed. I know where she is on her journey. She's still needing to stay in a healthy fat burn, and that bar right there will not help her be in a healthy fat burn. So I'm just caring well, sent her a very gentle message. Curly, I love that you update your premiere. You found some amazing fuelings. You got one of my favorites. Seriously, that chocolate mint cookie bar crisp, throw that puppy in the freezer. It's fantastic. Just as a side note, I noticed the dark chocolate dream bar. You might want to take that off of there because it's a maintenance bar. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm going to go add a couple other things. I'm not a fueling police. It's the position of our heart and the words that flow out of our mouth onto those messages that make all the difference in caring well and loving on people. So it is just such an amazing opportunity to care well for people within those first 30 days, to open those doorways. I love this quote by Becca Tenter: a well taken care of client can be a doorway to hundreds of lives transformed. Because believe me, coaching them well through these first 30 days and recognizing those matches and that heart for people, this is where they're either going to become a referring coach or they're going to become a health coach themselves because they love what you have just done to care for them, and they cannot wait to watch their mama who's hurting like I got to do, or watch a friend transform their lives. So Brad, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to share, and I cannot wait to see all the lives that you guys get to transform this month.
Oh, Danae, absolutely amazing. Also, Siler, loved it as well. The chat's blowing up, and this was fantastic. I think everyone can kind of agree, like, oh my gosh, it doesn't take you much extra time. I loved how you simply showed how easy this is for you to make the right touches at the right time. So good. And what I love that, yes, the matches of what you're doing there with people, because within all of this, you guys, within all of this, again, the grease of the wheels is if you're doing this, people talk about experiences that they have when they have good experiences. They can't hide it. And even if they did want to hide it, they can't hide their success. People are noticing. So keeping that relationship is so key and the game changer. So I loved it. And what's cool about this, and you guys can blink at me, and this is one thing I like to hit on with this topic is, have you ever had clients that, don't update their order fully, or they kind of are sporadic on their order? Here's the cool thing about what Danae did here. When you kind of tie a pretty bow around the end of their first month with this, for me, it's always a race in my head. Have I created value? Have I created speed of trust? Are they loving program? Are they having breakthrough? Are they integrated? So in that third week, when I helped them update their order, I just became not like, I don't worry about another order ever again. And that text sets it up. And when they know what to do, most people just want to know what to do. Anyone else the same way as me? Like, I'll do whatever, just tell me what to do. I just want to be told what to do. And so if we guide, they'll mostly just do what we share with them to do because they're getting success and you built the speed of trust. So I love it after the first order, because I'm no longer involved with their orders. I've taught them, I've caught them. Maybe the second order, I'll double check that I saw an update, if that's their second one. But beyond that, they've been taught. The skill has been passed, and you are just the coach from then on out. And maybe, hopefully, their support team at that time, because they shouldn't be able to hide what they're doing, and they're going to want to help other people. So good, Danae, because that's where I want my clients to be when I take their health assessment out of the first client folder, because when they update their order is when I put it into the long-term client folder. That's my check-off box right there. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up today's call with a tip from Lori Frame, because after the first month, also, the relationship changes. Anyone else ever felt like, okay, I'm still like, do I just keep asking them if they're eating 5 meals? Do I keep asking them like about the same things? You've passed on the skills. You become more of a peer after a while. Like, hopefully they're a coach by then. But the cool thing is you get to actually change the relationship. Sometimes you need to re-aim with them. Sometimes you need to awaken the next level. So I wanted to bring in Lori to talk about this subject. Like, Lori, what does it look like to really coach your clients well after their first month, or different things you hit into? I'm going to turn it over to you, and you share some knowledge as we wrap up today.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Danae, I just want to say that was unbelievable. I think one of my biggest takeaways from what Danae shared was all of the knowledge bombs. But however, it's really more that she said no to coaching for 4 years. I believe it was 4 years, you guys. So don't give up on anyone. I mean, that is what's really cool, is that people just, when the timing isn't right, it isn't right. So anyway, I'm going to jump right in here. So how many of you guys, this could apply to you or some of your clients that you're working with, you're so excited when you get that box. You're so excited to get started on your health journey. And then, well, there's a birthday party. I have to have cake, or I'm going on a cruise, or I had a glass of wine with a friend. And then that excitement, it kind of just like fizzles a little bit. And a lot of our clients do really, really well at first, or sometimes they get halfway to their goal. And then comfort starts setting in. So I like to just take a step back and just kind of take a look at our why as a health coach. What is our role? Our role as a health coach is we awaken people to live their life to their full potential. That's our role. Okay, so we want to establish that, because sometimes we can get emotionally attached to their journey and their timing and the way their journey is going. So we always want to say here, I love this little quote, the only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way in which we use them. So as their guide, we are their friend, we are their accountability buddy, and we just help them take one step at a time to their dream destination. Looking at if we are playing our clients that are jumping in, Some of them come in and they just want the short-term results. They're only utilizing the fuelings. In order to help someone create long-term results, we want to really hit hard the 4 components: the fuelings, the habits of health, the health coach, and then joining our community. And Danae and Seiler touched really, really great on that. Dr. Anderson taught us aim to stay. This is something that took me a few years to really, really fully understand. I see Denise shaking her head, and yes, we were always like, what does he mean by this? So I want to touch on this a little bit right now. A lot of times we go straight to the strategies, tactics, and actions. We're like, this is what you do. This is how you do it. This is what you need. We try to get them out of their feeling stuck state, right? So sometimes we need to go back to their aim. We want to awaken their intrinsic motivation. And that's when we get with their why, and we start with their why. And I'm going to touch more a little bit on this in a minute. A lot of times people get stuck in their comfort zone, right? How many of us? 90% of the population, they like their comfort zone. That's just where we think we need to be. It's our mediocre life, right? And our job as their coach is to stretch them to take one step out of their comfort zone, okay? And we do this one step at a time. It's not going to just happen overnight. Some people are really, really driven and want to make that change, but then a lot of times people revert right back into their comfort zone again because that's their comfortable place. That's what they're used to. That's what they're accustomed to. So when we're trying to reawaken someone, it's like a re-aim, okay? And you're going to hear Brad say this all the time. We need to slow down in order to go fast, okay? So when someone's feeling a little stuck, or let's say they're halfway at their goal and they're just what they like, you know, they just think that that they can't, you know, oh, I'm just comfortable, or I think I'm good here, or they go on that cruise or whatever it is. So we're going to slow down, and we're going to reawaken them. This is a tool I like to use. I like to just say, you know what, let's just remember our first conversation, right? We take a little stroll down memory lane with them. And I like to engage them. Instead of me telling them their whys, I like to say, let's go back to our first conversation on that health assessment. Remind me how you were feeling back then, right? And then they are reinstating and saying, well, I was depressed and I was feeling hopeless and I was borderline diabetic. I wanted to fit in my clothes again. I was tired, right? So they're saying all these things. And a lot of times they can't even remember because they've come so far and they're feeling good again. So that's where you want to pull out their health assessment and you want to look at that with them again. So then you go through those lists and you say, congratulations, guess what? You've checked everything off of your list, right? Like, we need a new list. That's all we need. That's the only thing we need to help you moving forward again. So I always like to say, push that reset button, okay? We're going to get refocused. We're going to make a new list. And this is fun, you guys. And I love this, is that sometimes when people are feeling in that lull energy and they're just like, I just can't keep it together. And every time, I do great all day. And then 6 o'clock, forget about it. I'm exhausted, right? They're acting off of motivation. What we want to do is reawaken them. So it's your job to bring it. Like, you got to bring the energy that you want them to have. Okay, so sometimes we need to, if they're feeling like a little mundane like this, you need to bring the energy. Like, are you kidding me? Look at how far you have come. If we can engage them and get excited with them, they need to feel that excitement. Take a look at Danae's excitement when she's talking. Like, who wants her? Are you bringing that kind of energy to the calls so that they could feel and feed off of that? And they're sitting back like, maybe I should be more excited about what's going on. Like, so we need to teach them that, because so many times people, like Sunny Kane says, it's so easy for us to take out those boxing gloves, right? We want to beat ourselves up because that's what we're accustomed to. We need to teach them how to put on those party hats and have fun again. Okay, so keep it fun and light. We don't want to be too serious. Sometimes the whole life-changing event is a little heavy for people. So we want to read who we are talking to, and so just help them to take that one step at a time, okay? And then you want to help them find the next goal. I like to break things up into little mini goals. Someone's got 100 pounds to lose. That may seem really unachievable to them. So set it up in 10-pound goals. That just gives you more opportunity to celebrate with them. It teaches them to learn how to celebrate themselves, because 100 pounds is really a large, hefty goal, and they will get there as long as you just help them take one stepping stone at a time, right? Celebrate the 10 pounds. What's the next 10 pounds going to mean to you? That means you're going to be down 20 pounds. Or what's the next 10 pounds going to mean to you? That means you're going to be down 60 pounds. When was the last time you were there? So it's going to make your check-in calls more engaging. They're going to get more excited to talk to you. And then it just gives you more opportunities as well to help them focus on the healthy mind. Sometimes we need to just do a reassessment as well on how's the 5-in-1 working for you. A lot of times people feel it could be too restrictive, or they miss their wine, or they miss, like they do great all week, and then on the weekend they start, partaking in the beverages. And so you just do an assessment. You know what? We got started on the 5-in-1. That's the most restrictive plan. We have other plans. Let's take a look at this. And then I like to have them tell me, what are you loving about the 5-in-1? Because sometimes they forget. They look at it as being a restriction. But honestly, when you ask them that question, that forces them to remember why they love it. I do love the convenience. It is super simple, not having to think. I do love the way I feel. I love that energy. And so while they're re-saying that to you, they're remembering again. You're taking that stroll down memory lane about when they were on 5-in-1 hardcore, how awesome they felt. So it's just our job to just guide them and have fun and show them how to celebrate and see the greatness. And then if they need a different plan, you can discuss those plans with them as well. But never forget to help congratulate them on how far they have come, and help them to remember that when they were solid on 5-in-1, how awesome they were feeling. And now that things have slowed down a little bit, what do they want? Do they want the slower path, or do they want the faster path? And then, there's no right or wrong answer there. It's what's right for them. David Miller, when I was a newer coach, I thought it was 5-in-1 or nothing. I didn't understand that there were so many other options. And I actually, believe it or not, hate to say, but I turned people down because they like to drink their alcohol. I didn't think that there was any options. And David Miller told me, he was like, wouldn't you rather see them fueling their body 6 times a day with healthy nutrition, and have them start cutting back a little bit on those alcoholic beverages? And I was like, you can do that? Like, I didn't understand. That was the biggest game changer for me, because it opened my eyes up to the creativity of what we have in this plan. It doesn't have to look just one way or another. Empower them. This is, when you're getting started, we're teaching them. It's really important to empower them to know where to find their answers, to utilize the healthy mind component. I like to tell my clients it's really important to fuel your mind or your body 6 times a day. It's also very important to fuel your mind at least 1 time a day, and to integrate that in and to teach them that from the start. They're going to really start focusing on their long-term health as well, because we know the healthy mind is what's going to create that long-term result. And asking them questions. Do you prefer reading or audio? Giving them suggestions, letting them know about the Habits of Health podcast, leading them to find their information. Invite them into the community. We know that you're going to be 5 times more likely to keep your weight off if you become a health coach. Like it was said earlier, I can't remember exactly who said it. I can't believe how different my life is because I became a health coach. Like, not only have I committed to my long-term health, because there's no way I'm going to go and gain my weight back if I'm bringing people on and helping them and giving them hope. It helps me to stay more accountable. The community has completely transformed my life. We all know that. We're all in this community. So invite them, you guys. Don't be scared of it. See the value that it has brought into your life, and really think about that. What value is it going to bring to their life long-term as well? Because we know that this is what is going to really help to transform their life and make it, help them create the life of their dreams. And I love this. It was put on the slides earlier as well. People think that the road to success is a straight line, and honestly, it's not. So try not to get emotionally attached to somebody's health journey. As their health coach, we want to show them how to embrace the obstacles as the way. We want to link arms and partner with them. Keep check of your energy management, okay? Because sometimes if a client gets distracted or disengaged, or they're not answering your phone calls, it's really easy again for us to pull out the boxing gloves on ourselves and think that we're not doing a good job with them. But the more we empower them into the healthy mind component of our program, teach them how to find the tools, we can take that pressure off of ourselves and know that we've done a really good job empowering them. And we just meet them where their journey, and just ask yourself, maybe I need to re-aim, maybe I need to slow down to go fast, find out what's next for them to help them move forward, and really just stay in structure and not emotion. Really keep leading your business with structure. Thinking about, Danae was a beautiful example of that. she stays in structure in everything that she does in her business, and that's why it is thriving. So it's really easy for us to kind of take a step back sometimes when we get discouraged or disappointed. It's not moving as fast as maybe somebody else's is, but stay in your own lane and just understand and embrace that the obstacles are going to happen, so don't be scared of them. Link with your mentorship team. How many more times are we going to say that? We say it for a reason, because that's what's going to help you push through and just help your clients take the next steps. So that's all I got for you guys today. What an amazing call, Brad. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, my friends, the chat has blown up. Lori, that was so good. And I'm hoping for all you newer coaches or even the experienced coaches, because I'm still going to school every single day. You know, the best professional athletes are people that are the best at their game. They practice the same thing over and over and over. They get really good at those basics. So Danae, Siler, Lori, I'm just like, I'm going to do more of that this week right now. I'm on fire. Like, I just need you guys like on my shoulder every week when I call my clients. I was going to like call you up before I call my clients. But we're going to wrap up here today. Next week, we move into supporting coaches, referrals, and awakening that connection. And it really starts from this. Hopefully you guys are seeing the connection and the difference maker, the accelerators, the gasoline that goes on the fire. Like Lori, Danae, you guys absolutely painted such a beautiful picture of how that happens so simply and easily. By the way, even tying back in Susan last week, Lori, with the layout of like the different plans, like Susan covered that, like, one of our options are the best way to start. If you do that early, back to like Danae and Susan saying, if you set the expectation, if you give the clarity, it makes your coaching so much more fun, so much more easy, and it sets your clients up for so much more success. I love it. So good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. Next week we'll cover that, referrals, all of those things. Maybe have Danae share a little bit more on like how she sets that up, because she kind of talked about the day 6 text integration calls. We'll come back a little bit more to that next week, which will be really good. But for this week, we're going to help you guys finish up and keep the action going. So here are, let me see here. Let me share my screen real quick as I wrap up here today. Let's see here. We covered that one. Oops, for some reason, my slide's all over the place. You can't really see it. So anyways, the way to wrap up here this week, finishing this week strong, is check in with your health. Keep that going. Keep leading. Keep pressing forward. Keep that momentum going. Text your support team after this call. Let them know what your focus is this week. You're not reporting to them, but that is the action step of the things that create the difference. This week, you guys, start off the month strong. There are so many people that are looking for help. 5 health assessments this week and start 2 to 3 clients. If that's a pace that will set you up for success. So that's the focus. And besides that, live out loud, be bold. Your 3, 3, and 3 is the magic piece. So people are looking for us, especially you guys this time. That's why February is such an amazing month, is because it's the time where the things are starting to percolate. Your clients are either having massive success, or people that meant to get started are like, man, I can't believe it's already February. Are you kidding me? Or you're getting referrals, or like whatever the case may be, or people are trying to things. You guys get the picture. It's open season. So that would be my encouragement this week. On top of this topic, just like we did the Instagram training on Wednesday, we're going to have a second training this week. So instead of doing a power hour this Wednesday, we're going to do okay, let's break down a little bit more of the understanding of our nutrition plan. Like if that stuff intrigues you, if you want to know a little bit more about that details, like, because we're not going to get into, because as you can see, the connection, the encouragement, the clarity, all the things Danae and Lori covered today are the difference makers. But if you want to know a little bit about the cool stuff, like how do I help someone bust through a plateau? Like how does our fat burning thing work? Or how do we explain that? We're going to have a few people that are kind of masters of this share down some stuff. So join us Wednesday. That'll be coming up this week. So besides that, you guys, just like the snowstorm that comes here and the ability to still do this training, find a way, make a way, stay consistent, keep creating breakthrough, and congrats on being consistent yourself. Have a great week, everyone. That concludes this week's training. If you do want to stay on and ask some questions, we're going to hold some extra time here, or you can just push mute and get a few things done. But I'm going to push end record, stop.